has been awarded Best Paper Awards both in national and international conferences along with his co-authors. Along with his team, he has developed an Instagram addiction test and PUBG addiction test, first time in the world. He has also developed tools, inventories, and questionnaires which have been used widely by researchers. He has been a resource person for more than 120 national and 34 international conferences, and he has visited more than 35 countries, including France, Switzerland, UK, etc. He has participated in several national and international conferences and presented papers and chaired sessions too. And he was the principal investigator of UGC-funded project on shyness, and is the well-known statistical or research consultant for several institutions in Karnataka and other states. With this brief, I welcome wholeheartedly Professor Lancy D'Souza sir to this session on behalf of all the participants to online and also on behalf of the MMT Center Institute of Mysore. Over to Lancy sir.
Thank you, sir. Let me share my PPT.
Yes, sir. PPT share agittu sir.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. I'll be sharing it, sir.
ಮತ್ತೆ ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ಅವರು ಇಂದು ಕೂಡ ಏನು ಮಾಡೋಣ ವೆಯ್ಟ್ ಅವರು ವಾಪಸ್ ಇಂಟು
ಸರ್ ಇದು PPT ಸೀನ್ ಸರ್
PPT ಶೇರ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಸರ್ ಅಲ್ಲ ಆಗ್ಲೇ ಆಗಿತ್ತು ಮತ್ತೆ ವಾಪಸ್ ಹೊರಗಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಎಸ್ ಸರ್ ನಾವು ಇಡ್ಸಿ ಓಕೆ ಸರ್ ಮೂವ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ ನೋಡ್ಬಿಡಿ ಸರ್ ಸ್ಲೈಡ್ ಮೂವ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ನೋಡಿ ಸರ್ ಸ್ಲೈಡ್ ಮೂವ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ನೋಡಿ ಸರ್
ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಸರ್ ನೋಡಿ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಟ್ರೈಯಿಂಗ್
ಹೌದಾ ಐ ರಿಕ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಒನ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಸಿಪೆಂಟ್ ಟು ರಿಪ್ಲೈ
ಎಸ್ ಸರ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ ಸರ್
ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ ಫೈನ್ ಸರ್ ಫೈನ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ ಸರ್ ಓಕೆ ಸರ್ ಫೈನ್
ಹಲೋ ಸರ್ ಆಡಿಬಲ್
Okay. Thank you very much, Nandigal Swami sir. Thank you very much for a kind introduction, and dear audience there and my dear teachers. Okay, today is the first lecture of your work on what you call orientation work for next few days or maybe next few weeks. So the first lecture will be on effective classroom teaching and management. Let me tell something very clearly. So nothing to be taken anything personal, please, because I might talk about the types of teachers, the way teach, including me also, because I am also a senior teacher. So what kind of mistakes we do and how to overcome that. So this will be purely a practical talk, and there is nothing like what you call that I am aiming or targeting something. This is a pure disclaimer. Okay, this is the talk in general. Nothing is aimed towards some people or not. Okay, so that's the first thing I want to declare. The next aspect is we are going to talk about effective classroom teaching and management. Okay, everybody of us will teach, and we are in teaching process either in temporary level or in a permanent level. But have you ever what you call introspected ourselves that whether classes are being effective or we are just what you call going to the class and finishing the syllabus? There are two ways to cover the syllabus. One is finishing the syllabus. Another one is finishing the syllabus with the meaningfully what you call orienting the students for the content part. So we have to be very careful. In a hurry, sometimes we finish the syllabus, but we may not given the clarity for our students. Then our classroom will not be effective. So how to manage this? So the whole 2 sessions will be on these 2 aspects we are going to manage. In between, I might give some activities. Let me try, because it's online, so it's a little difficult to manage the activities unless it is offline. So the first thing is, as we see in the slide itself, the first issue itself, what we are going to talk is for whom I'm teaching, the levels of teaching. Because what happens, sometimes we have to what you call we have to really think before getting into the class for whom we are teaching, what level, what the grade, and what are the language aspect we have to use. Sometimes if it's a very rural area, I think we have to speak mostly the local language also along with the English. So the medium of instruction could be English, but the first thing is we have to get to know whom we are teaching. That's the first thing. Then the next thing is what I'm going to teach. That adds more, because you have to spend at least 55 minutes to 1 hour in the class. So what I'm teaching and how much I've been prepared and how I'm going to teach Either it's going to be what you call only one-way lecture, or is it a discussion, or it's a lecture come discussion, or whether I'm going to use audiovisual techniques. All those things we'll be discussing. Then finally, idea comes where really I need a feedback. Do I really need a feedback? Whether my students have understood what I've been doing or dealing with the students for 55 minutes or 60 minutes. So this is the complete coverage of what you call things which we are going to talk about. So this is the first aspect. We'll start with the now. Before we start, please understand, to become an effective teacher, I think following issues which I am showing in the slide are very important. Starting with the structuring, how we structure, okay. Then moving on to the delivery, how we what to call manage our class, delivery of lectures, what are the modes what to call modes we are going to get into. Then how do you manage the class? This is more important, because sometimes we find it difficult to manage the class, because either way, either we may have difficulties or our students may have difficulties in understanding. Then there could be a, what you call a psychological conflict would arise. So how to manage it better? Then interaction, how much interaction we have to do with the students. Then what to focus and what not to focus. Then I'm going to talk about the questioning part. Really, how much part of our talk will be into questioning, and whether too much of questioning is good or no questioning is good, we are going to discuss about that. Then student involvement, how we are going to make our students to be involved in our regular lectures, so that it will be more participatory than just one sided. Then emotive and cognitive feedback. Now, this is also very important, because remember, uh, we have to be very careful nowadays, because we are into highly advanced technological digital era. Please understand this, my dear what do you call budding teachers here, or fresh like recruits, because the days are gone where uh, students were completely dependent on the teacher's class. Now, after the invasion of AI and other different AI tools and the technology and lot of chat rooms, now the students are so sharp, where they can even think somebody's on. Can you please unmute? Please mute yourself if it's not muted, please. Okay. Nowadays, what you call technology is so advanced. We are in AI era. Artificial intelligence plays a major role, and there are a lot of lectures available on YouTube and other channels. Now you have to be really smart enough to attract the students. Now this is where what you call you have to take care of our classrooms, because nowadays students have reached in such a position that we don't need a classroom lecture, because we get ready notes from AI, or ready notes from ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, or whatever the AI tools are there. Now that's where you have to make your classroom really impressive. So that is why the talk of today's, because we have to really attract our students from AI to our class. Because nowadays you see anything you ask for assignment, AI to, they take AI to help. You give any other work, AI does it, and it's more of what you call AI is doing their work, and we think that our students are losing the creativity. Yes, so the part of thing lies with us is, even we have to increase the creativity of our students. And I don't know how many of you seen the latest UGC what you call notification. uh, the UGC has said already, you cannot use the AI content in your PhD thesis more than 30%. So there also the lot of what you call conditions are coming up. So one has to be very careful. AI is required, but how much we are going to use, that is more important. So, but whatever the AI part is there, let's not bother much about it. So let's concentrate on our classroom and how really we have to work in the classroom. That is more important. So we start with the first concept, what you call structuring, like organize your teaching resources. This is the first and foremost thing. Without organizing your teaching resources, you cannot get into your class. And if you're not organized well, please understand that you are confused and you're ambiguous. So once you're confused and ambiguous, our classes will not be effective. Once our classes are not effective, now automatically student will get bored. So, and once I think somebody is, please mute yourself because I'm getting echo, please. Uh, so now what happens if my class are getting bored to my students? Now automatically I find less number or they'll come for the sake of attendance. This should not happen. So that is why structure your class in such a way that the new content you have added, the old age old notes have been discarded. So that is more important. So how do you do that? So how do you organize your teaching resources? Okay, first getting organized, and don't use that same old what you call pattern of teaching which you heard or which you are doing in the beginning stages. Now there is a big change you have to do. So you have to do that by getting organized and clearing the clutter before the new college year begins. I think we are going to start now in next 1 or 2 months, or maybe this month and all. I think most of the colleges are going to start. I think definitely we have to put. And why? Because the idea is syllabus is keeping what you call kept on changing from annual system to we ended up in a semester system. From semester system we ended up with the cbcs. From cbcs we went to flexible cbcs. Then from flexible cbcs to we on to nep in Karnataka, and after nep now we under sep. So there are lot of changes have happened in the syllabus, and accordingly we have to update. That is why we have to really organize well. So that's why I said outdated material discard first. So recycle or choose the right content so that it will match your what you call teaching style. So already you have some idea that some of the content which is not there also, if you want to add also, which is not there in the syllabus, just discard. Don't add just because it is there. Then if it is still compulsory and still students are finding it boring or difficult, please rewrite in a better way or organize in a better way so that everything can be made interesting for the students. Now, what happens with the digital files? So remember, when you talk about the digital files, why? Because nowadays everything we talk through what you call LCD, because UGC has insisted that a classroom should involve ICT, information communication technology. So but unfortunately for us, ICT is nothing but only LCD. But there are many more things in ICT which you are not using them. So please use what you call ICT as much as possible. But ICT itself should not be your class, because sometimes what happens, we read the PowerPoints are there. We are just dependent on the PowerPoint, so which should not be there. And sometimes even in the PowerPoint, suppose we copy and paste the what you call some others PPT, please go through once again which is required and which is not required, and make it in a simple language. That is more important. So first thing is what you call prepare yourself, organize yourself. Either it could be what you call offline in the form of a notes, or online in the form of what you call PPTs or digital files. Then now what you call once you what you call have that organization, now you see the flow. Now the flow should be like simple to complex. Never make it complex to simple, because when the things are you are moving from simple to complex, please understand even the textbooks are written in such a way that what you call each textbook will not start with any complex issue. So the issues will start with the simple aspects, then gradually it becomes complex. Now the same way you have to build your teaching hour, where initially you have to start with the simple aspect, because the psychology of learning says very clearly simple aspects can be easily learnt or understood by the ward or the student, which will motivate him to understand better later even the complex tasks. So this is where a psychology of learning works better. While doing this, I need to talk about the types of teachers. Please don't mistake me, because if I'm talking about some of the teaching styles, if you have it, please leave it, and let's be a good teachers. and will make the classroom effective. So I left it blank because I want to talk something what you call which is not there in the textbook. So the first type of teacher I would talk about PowerPoint teachers. Now you might what you call wonder what is this PowerPoint teachers. Please understand, many of the time we are completely dependent upon the PowerPoint which you have prepared, and PowerPoint is meant for just to help you or assist you for a continuity in the class. But unfortunately, what happens? Few of the teachers are just reading the PowerPoint. So these teachers are PowerPoint reader teachers. So I don't want the youngest group of teachers should be dependent completely upon the PowerPoint. Why? Because uh, many times we make a joke, if the teacher is reading the PowerPoint and suddenly power goes, the teacher becomes powerless teacher. So this should not happen. So that is why PowerPoint should be there as a adjunctive aid for ICT, but that itself should not be a what you call a class by itself. So I'll give an analogy. Before LCD invented or something like that, remember when you were in the you were what you call in the your high school or this one, no? Primary school, this one, teachers used to bring a small slip in their hand, and there used to be points. And in between, once in a while, these teachers used to see those points. You know why they used to look into these points? Because they wanted to what you call clear out or see that they have not missed out any important points. The same thing job nowadays. Its technology has advanced. We are looking through PowerPoint. So LCD is must, but LCD should be what you call uh, by class itself. So I want you to be PowerPoint explainer rather than a PowerPoint reader. So this is the first thing because nowadays everybody is into what you call PowerPoint presentation. So be a presenter and not a reader. And a PowerPoint should contain what you call just 7 to 8 dots or just punchlines, not the notes, because they are the points which you are supposed to explain. So don't be a PowerPoint reader, be a PowerPoint explain. That is a better way. There are some teachers, okay, who talk in a different way, because when we talk about the types of teacher, you have to be very careful that students will brand you. There are many teachers that talk about other stories than the content which is there supposed to be discussed or talked inside the class. Now, what happens if you start talking the stories? Then you will become a storyteller or a story teacher, not a what you call good teacher. Because the moment you what you call start what you call telling the stories about yourself, your family, and others, they are not interested in what you call. First of all, to be frank, nowadays the students are not. This is a frank opinion. Students are not much interested in the classroom what you call listening because of the invasion of mobile and other devices. They are into more into distraction. So those things also should be avoided. So that's another part. So that is why try to avoid what you call telling your personal issues, what you call, or telling stories and stories about others, stories about what you call the colleagues or other teachers, or giving comments about your own institution, bad comments and all, and repenting yourself, why did I join this job? Please, please, please do not talk all these things in front of the students. If at all those things are there to be discussed, you discuss with the concerned people, not in front of the students. A student is not there to listen your these issues. Your job is to just to what you call disseminate the lecture of the content in the syllabi in a better way. So don't be a storyteller. There are some teachers who give only merely notes. Again, such teachers are called as notes teachers. Okay, so don't become a notes teacher. You know why? Because again, UGC has insisted in a classroom notes should not be dictated. Now, why this rule has come? Because in a classroom you have to explain, you have to narrate, you have to make the student clarify, not by just dictating or giving the notes, rather than explaining in a better way. And UGC has very clearly mentioned in classroom giving notes or dictating notes is not encouraged. Rather, if you are interested, you can make that notes either in a digital form or handwritten form, scan it or type it, and upload in your college website, and students can directly access those notes. So this is how what you call notes can be managed. There are next type of teacher. This is why I talked about PowerPoint teacher. I talked about what you call notes teacher. I talked about story teacher. Now there's a next class of teacher is a jokes teacher. There are many lecturers, not many, so sorry. There are few lecturers. They always tell jokes in a class. In a what you call of 55 or 60 minutes class, they crack jokes at least 10 to 20 times, and students are very happy whether they understood the content or not. But just because the teacher tells jokes, there will be more number of students in the class, and these students, they don't come to class to hear your lecture, they come to hear your jokes. So you become a jokes teacher. So avoid all this, because no, because these are the things. Remember, nowadays students observe a lot. They have got advanced devices. They can even record your talk. They can even film your talk without your knowledge. So this should not be a laughing stock outside. So that's why we have to be extra careful when you are into the class. So that's about the fourth type. There is a next type of teacher. There are some teachers, what you call, they come to the class, they stand 1 hour in the what you call fixing to the podium, and 1 hour extempo they lecture they give. But the problem is the students will not understand all of the content, though you must have said a lot of things, but unfortunately many things are not reached. So you'll be a 24/7 standing teacher. Then there are some teachers who come to the class, they never stand, they sit and teach. Now you are a sitting teacher. Now, sitting in the classroom and teaching is highly discouraged. Why? Because the moment you sit in the class, I'm telling you, only the front 1 or 2 rows are very active or alert in listening to you. The back benches or the students who are sitting back, now they lose interest in your class. And once they lose interest in your class, their mind is diverted. Once their mind is diverted, they involve in other activities. Now you know what happens. Only few students will understand your lecture, though you are trying your level best. So never the moral of the this one is never sit and teach. The moment you sit and teach, you are gone, because then you are going to be ineffective teacher. So stand. That's more important. And sometimes we make too much of actions. Now that also should be avoided, because if you make too many actions, what you call in hand or this one in the body language and all, they might call you dancing teacher. So body language is required, hand movements are required, but how much, that is more important, where you are going to plan in a way how you have to make your classroom better. Now that I'll tell you what you call in the what you call some of the things how we can improve our classroom teaching by few of the strategies which will eventually we'll discuss about it. So there are different types of teachers who are there. So pick up the some good aspects of what you call teaching and teachers, so that you can follow them rather than following the traditional good old bad practices, which will what you call will not have much effectiveness in the classroom. So that's the part where this one. I'm coming to the most important part, the delivery of the goods, or now the delivery of lecture. Now, few important issues I have what to call highlighted here. One is adhering to the time. Second is explanation. I'll explain each one of them. Then teaching with examples, using simple language, teaching with the breaks, and make the session live. Use audio visual aids. Okay, the first thing itself is what you call adhering to the time. Now you have to be this one nowadays. As I said, students are extra sharp. If you find a mistake in them, they'll find 100 mistakes in you. It can be starting with the article, the timing spot itself. Unfortunately, some of the students complain our teacher comes 20 minutes late to the class and leaves 10 minutes early. Now this should not happen. Please don't feel bad, because if we have this habit, like what you call, like going late and coming early from the class, this should not be encouraged, because in a way we are cheating ourselves, because we are not doing our job well. First thing is adhering to the time. The moment the bell is rang or the time is what you call there, immediately you have to rush to the class and give some breathing space. If the class is not over or immediately over, give some breathing space for the students and get in, because usually 5 minutes break will be given. So that time students can go to other classes, or if they're same class, it doesn't matter. So adhering to the time. Next is not only getting into the class, getting out of the class. So if it is 60 minutes class, please see to that you will be there till 60 minutes. Unless there is some emergency work comes from the office or some personal issues, which is what you call immediately to be attended, then it's a different story, which will not happen every day. So now what happens when the moment you start adhering to the time, now students also start adhering to the time. The idea is if you go late, the students also come late. You cannot question why you are coming late. So then the first question itself, the discipline goes. Then if you leave early also, now they might joke at you. Okay, our teacher must have finished his goods, so he's not able to what you call finish what you call take care of the full hours. That is why he is leaving early. So this should not happen. So adhering to the time, on time classroom presence and on time leaving the class. And sometimes you should not leave late also. This should not happen. Sometimes what happens, we go late and we leave late. Now remember, the moment you leave late the students, once in a while it can happen again, not every day. So the moment you leave late the students, unless if it's the last hour of the day, now it's what's going to happen, it will affect their next class. Remember, in the next class some other teacher is already waiting for their students. So that teacher also will get disturbed, because in between the students are entering into the class. So that is why adhering to the time is the thing, because that's a part of disciplinary measure for student also. Then comes the next part is explanation. Now remember, how much we explain. Do we just read, or do we just talk, or do we get into the deeper aspects? Now sometimes what we think is what you call, we know everything, so whatever we said is final. Fine, we know everything, which is again a myth. But my simple request is, can you get down to the level of students understanding, so that when we get into the students understanding level, now accordingly we can explain in a better way. And how do we explain? So when we explain, please understand, modulation of voice is very important. So sometimes our voice should go high, sometimes suddenly the voice drops down. Now when the voice goes up or voice drops down, remember, these are all the catch points for the students. Suddenly if you raise the voice, everybody starts looking at you. Now that means there is something important catch point. Suddenly there's a big silence coming from your side, that also has what you call some kind of meaning. So immediately all concentration will be there on you. So these are the places where you try to explain in a better way. And how do you explain? Now remember, the explanation can come in different ways. So first thing is, explain what is there in the what you call syllabus part. Many times we start explaining something else which is not there in the what you call syllabus. And when you talk about the explanation, please understand, explain with the current context. That is most important. If you give age old current context, the student will not learn. So explaining with the current context, where student is exposed each and every day, now for him the things will be much easier. The next aspect is teaching with examples. So many times what happens, We just teach, but we don't give any example. Now, now there's a what you call there are a lot of things what you call that are connected. Please understand. Sometimes content can make you remember example, and sometimes example can make you remember the content. But this is called as associative learning. So usually what happens, if you use more examples, those examples can make the students to remember the content. Now that is why use examples, and again I'm telling, again get into the current context, not to the age old context where student is not exposed to. So when you give such examples, now for example, if somebody teaching about the war and its effects, now please understand, now it's a high time we have to use the example of current Israel, America and Iran war, where student is highly updated with this. Or if somebody is talking about economics and about the what you call pricing and what you call policies and all, now they can definitely use why in India the prices are increasing, what is the effect of war, and how it is making what you call the burden on what you call the common man. Now, if you use some 1940s or 50s examples, the student will not understand. But the examples which are being current in nature, where he is also part of it, definitely yes, your teaching can be better. Then the next aspect is using simple language. Please understand, the idea here is when you talk about the simple language, many times uh, few of the teachers have used the language hi-fi English or very tough language which student is not able to understand. We call them as jargon. We may have what you call pandis, we may have what you call examples, and we have got a very good vocabulary. But think of the students who is not able to what you call understand the vocabulary which a teacher is going to use. Now it's of no use. The classroom is not going to be effective. So use simple language, get into their level of what you call understanding, what kind of level they can understand that language. So make it simple. The moment what you call you make the language simple, the understanding will be easy, classroom environment will be cool. The moment you start hi-fi and jargons, yes, the class goes very high, but the student has not understood anything. So that is again what you call not advocated, using jargons and hi-fi words which we are not very much familiar with. The next aspect is teaching with the breaks. Now this I want to highlight as a psychologist also. It's already proved that in a class we can hold the attention of a student to the maximum, not more than 21 minutes at a time. The attention can go in the first minute itself, but what happens is after 21 minutes there will be diversion comes, even for what you call toppers or so-called high-ended this one toppers or very learners who can understand fast, even they can be diverted, because the idea is the saturation aspect. Because of the saturation, the student might divert after 21 minutes. That could be the maximum one. So once if you don't give a break, then only the first 21 minutes are going to be effective, and remaining minutes 39 or 40 minutes are going to be ineffective because it has gone above the saturation limit of the student. So teaching with the breaks, it makes you what you call makes we also comfortable, and the students also make comfortable. So I would expect, like, you can break your class into 2 or 3 sessions. So every session after 15 16 minutes or 17 minutes or maximum 20 minutes, you can give a break, come out of the subject. And why this break is given? Because of the consolidation of memory traces. It's a hypothetical construct, because uh, whenever a student or anybody learns, there will be memory traces are formed, and this is called as engram, and these engrams have to be settled down. So whenever you give the break, the memory traces or the engrams will settle down, so that the memory will be better. So that is why teaching with the breaks is better. So you cannot come out completely with the what you call subject. You cannot talk anything this one, but you come out of the subject, but don't what you call disconnect with the subject. You can have a lighter talk on that, and again after a few minutes, this is like refreshing. Once the student gets refreshed, again is getting back to listen again next 20 minutes. So giving a breaks actually really helps the students to improve their memory. Whatever is been learned will be now consolidated. That's the idea. The where the learnt part will be consolidated in the brain, and this can help improve in the memory, so that much thing, and the student might find the examination easier. So teaching with the breaks is more important. At least I would expect at least 2 to 3 what you call breaks in a session, but don't give too lengthy breaks. Break could be around 4 to 5 minutes. Again, get back to your class. In that during that break time, you don't have to go outside, or students need not go outside. But same time, you can what you call involve in the students in a similar aspect. So we call it as a distraction period. It's not a distraction period. It is basically what you call fixation of memory traces. Then another thing is you have to make the session live, or whatever the 55 minutes or 60 minutes you are going to teach, please make the session live. Use some interesting anecdotes. Please understand, there are I have I have seen many what you call subjects and languages. I don't see any what you call subject or languages are uninteresting or boring. It is all in our mindset. I can make any subject either boring or interesting, provided the session, how the sessions would go. Why sometimes they feel what you call bored about this one? The session is not live. What do you mean by live? The idea here is making the session live means you have to be active in the class. You have to use a lot of modulation. You have to use minimum body language, so that the session would be live rather than a monotonous radio news type. Should not happen. Sometimes what happens? Some teachers, they keep on talking. It's a monotonous voice, and within no time, what you call the session will be dull, and the student will divert or distract. So this should not happen. Then use of audiovisual aids also more important, because remember there are three types of memory we talk about in the class. One is the audio memory, which we are traditionally what you call in the class we use audio memory. That is, whatever we speak will be directly into here, hit into the eardrums of the students, and this memory is very weak. Then the next level is visual memory or the pictures. Now, visual memory or the picture memory can be retained better than audio memory. So that's already proved. So that is why audiovisual is required, and video is the best, or motion memory. So because whenever we have these three types of memory, as I said, audio memory is very weak, followed by the better ones is the visual, and the best is the uh, motion or video memory. Now, why video memory? Because there is a movement involved. That is why we still remember those age-old movie songs and all. We still remember the characters and even the dance acts. Why? Because motion was involved or video was involved. So sometimes you may have to use this, but definitely use of audiovisual aids definitely improves the effectiveness of your class. Because and your job is less. Please understand, the moment you start using what you call audiovisual aids, so you don't have to explain much, because it's there in the picture or in the what you call visual or video round. It is like I compare between cricket commentary, radio commentary, and watching TV online. So in radio commentary, remember, you have to imagine what is happening. That's why the person gives continuous what you call commentary. If you watch TV, you are seeing everything. Only sentences should come from the commentator once in a while. That means what? Everything is understood very clearly just by seeing the picture or the movie or the video. So that is why use of audiovisual aids will have a lot of positive impact in improving the memory. In turn, the impressions are better. the memory impressions are better, and because these impressions can really carry over to the examination, and a student can write better. So delivery of goods in this way makes the things better. So now while delivering, now we are slowly getting into the types of students, the way they learn the students. So please remember, there are three types of learners we find in a class. Fast learners, moderate levels of learners, and slow learners. This is based on their learning style or learning outcomes. Now remember, when you talk about the fast learners, please remember one teaching from each side. I think somebody is again unmuted. Please mute yourself.
ಹೆಂಗಾತದ್ರಿ ಮೇಡಮ್?
ಮೇಡಮ್ ಯಾರು ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಿರೋದು? ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ನೀವು ಮಾತಾಡೋದು ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. Okay, one is the fast learners. Okay, the one, if you teach once, they'll catch immediately. They don't require much of help. One listening is more than enough. There are few students will be definitely in the class. There are moderate learners. Okay, these learners, they learn, but they need your help. Where the moderate learners will have some difficulty in understanding, but with your guidance, they can definitely do well. And there's another group called as slow learners, because they want to learn, but unfortunately, because of their intellectual capacity, they're really slow learners. So that means what? They have problem in understanding. They put their struggle, but still they cannot score well. Ultimately, what we want, our students should score well and settle well in the society. So if they don't score well, it will be difficult for them to settle or getting a good grade. It will be a problem for them. Now understand, in a class we find all these three types, and fast learners are definitely not dependent on you. Moderate learners are partially dependent on you. Slow learners are completely dependent on you. Now remember, as a teacher, whom you have to concentrate more in the class? Fast learners, moderate learners, or slow learners? I want to hear from you. You can answer, you can unmute and answer. Whom you have to concentrate more and why?
Slow learners, sir.
Eh?
Slow learners.
Any other answers?
Of course, all the three learners, sir. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಫಾಸ್ಟ್ ಲರ್ನರ್ಸ್ ಗೆ ಇನ್ನ ಏನಾದ್ರೂ ಬಿಲ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಮಾಡರೇಟ್ ಗೆ ಗೈಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಸ್ಲೋಗೆ ಬಿಲ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಮೂರ್ ಮೇಲೂ ಕಾನ್ಸಂಟ್ರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು.
Okay sir, we are going to concentrate on everyone, but where should we concentrate more? That is my question.
Slow learners.
Yeah, definitely right, because see, as I said, fast learners, they are not at all dependent. They can learn easily. And again, I'm going to talk types of students later. There are 4 types of students. That time also I can make analogy with them. Then moderate learners, a partial dependence, but the slow learners, you believe it or not, they are they are completely dependent. And usually I joke with my teachers and teacher friends. You know, it is very easy for a student who has scored 90 or 95, he can still score 99 out of 100. A person who has scored 90, for him scoring another 5 or 6 scores is nothing, because he is a fast learner or he can get into. But how many of us know the difficulties of a slow learner? For him, if he gets 32 or 33 and getting 35, remember, is a Herculean task for him. And how many of you understood this point? Even if he gets 30, making it 35, he finds really difficult. You believe it or not. But a person who is already scoring 90 or 92, for scoring him 96 or 97 is not at all a big job. But how many of us have understood the slow learners, where they really struggle for 1 mark? Now, this is where our focus should be on slow learners. Why? Because remember, the toppers and all will not remember you. Because 2-3 decades of experience, I'll tell you. But those slow learners, because of your efforts, if they have gained something and they cleared their exams and they have got a job, the first thing is they remember you. because of this teacher I could do something. Why? Because you concentrated on these slow learners. It's not that okay, these people will never understand, it's a waste on them. No, I think it's an investment which you are doing today will have a big returns tomorrow. So understand the nature of slow learners, where they what you call finding it difficult. Now how to make the job easier. Any idea how you make the slow learners? I have a very simple what you call tactics or strategy. How to make a slow learner better to get into moderate learner? You cannot make him fast learner.
First, we have to motivate, sir, towards the subject.
Okay. No, he's
And
sir,
then-
he is motivated. I'm
Yes,
not
sir.
telling that he's not interested. He is interested, but
Yes, sir.
because of his intellectual capacity, he
Yes,
is
sir.
not able to catch up. That's the idea.
We want to make abstract
Extra class
concepts
takers.
too easier. Like suppose the concept is like very abstract, we have to tell him with examples, with daily life examples and all. Definitely, he will be having interest.
Okay,
Sir,
that's
we
one
want
thing. That's
different
one.
skills.
That's okay, madam. And then okay, madam.
Sir, we should make them to interact with us.
Different,
We
very, very
make them
different
to
teaching
speak out.
skills.
Okay. Okay.
Sir,
Now
they
now.
also-
Extra class we are taking.
Okay. You mean remedial coaching? Okay, remedial coaching and making the things easier and all those things.
And also, we have to give more attention to the students.
Yeah, that's what exactly. So I would
And also,
suggest.
sir, and also breaking into tiny steps, sir. Instead of putting them everything at once, if to make them break into steps, it may be easy for them to understand also.
Yes, yes. I'll have another strategy. I call it as a what you call a mentoring system, where you connect a slow learner with a fast learner, and the responsibility of the fast learner, because since fast learner sir can do the job easier, so you can connect one fast learner with the slow learner and get the progress every week or every 15 days. Try to experiment on this, because for fast learner it's an advantage because he's learning second time, while giving more explanation to the slow learner. Slow learner, again there is a advantage. Why? Because apart from the class he is doing more. Now this is where it's a win-win solution we talk about. We talk about a win-win solution rather win-lose solution, because if you connect a fast learner with the slow learner, remember, definitely with the mutual understanding, the fast learner can make the things easier for what you call slow learner, and slow learner can gain better, and you see what the changes. But the job should be done seriously. So we call it as a win-win solution. Now look into these aspects, how we are to deliver it. Of course, in a classroom, I'm going to tell one of the what you call uh, one of the what you call a disadvantage or demerit of what you call having what you call concentrating more on slow learners is the fast learners might get bored about your class, because as you said, you have to really teach slow, you have to really make them understand, you have to really break them into tiny what you call segments. Now definitely, but you have to convince your fast learners, see, this is not only you in the class, because in the class we have got all mixture of these groups, so you have to manage better by considering them even the slow learners, because even the slow learners are also part of the class, we cannot simply ignore them. So that's the idea there. Then how we do a communication and management, please understand this also has, because this is where what you call I don't have a offline mode, otherwise I would have given live examples taking yourself, but it's an online class, so I have to restrict few things. So when you talk about the communication and management inside the class, one thing is use of space. One thing is I request all of you, because you are all what you call getting into the what you call the your prestigious and precious and one of the most what do you call a respected job of a teacher or a lecturer or a assistant professor. Please understand, we have to follow the few things. First thing is use of space. Please understand, never stand at one place or never sit at one place all the time in a class. The moment you stand for a 60 minutes or sit 60 minutes, the attention of the student will be diverted somewhere else. That's why I expect what you call movements. So what are these movements? We call them as subtle movements. And how these movements should go? It's not a fast movement. It should not distract the student. You should be slowly moving to the left or to the right or to the front or to the back. Now remember why I said what you call, don't stand at a particular place and teach for 60 minutes. Don't sit at a place and teach. And sitting and teaching is completely a waste of class. But if you stand and teach, remember the students will get bored. They get a strain in the eye. They might get into sleep, and that in the afternoon class it might be very common. Nowadays, as such, the students don't sleep well. You know that because of the digital invasion and mobile and websites. So first of all, they didn't sleep properly, and that in the afternoon, if you are standing and teaching for 60 minutes, definitely they lose concentration, and they might what you call uh, sleep also, and then we only blame them why you are sleeping. So the moment you start moving subtle, I'm telling very subtle movement, which what you call, which will not divert the students' attention. The students' attention will be on your teaching only. So towards light, towards left, towards front, towards back. Please understand, now every student will be alert in the class, which can work very well than if you're standing at one place or sitting at one place all the time. The movement itself, what happens? The moment you start moving left or right, front or back, even the students' eyeballs also what you call start moving. Now this gives some kind of exercise, again scientifically proved, exercise for the students so that he'll not get feel strained. So movements are what you call required, but this movement should not be abrupt. Please understand. The more abrupt such movements are there, the student gets disturbed, which should not happen. So never allow what you call a student to get abrupt what you call disturbance. The movement should be there, but they should not distract. And the moment you start moving, every student will be alert, because even the last bench, last person also will be alert. Why? Because the teacher is watching. That is more important. And unfortunately, the next point, if you see, many times we use unnecessary gestures and postures in the class, which are totally what you call not required inside the class. Now, why it happens? And it happens unconsciously. Many times, what we do while teaching only, we take the pen from the pocket, we what you call, we remove the cap, we what you call again uncap and again recap, and again put the pen back into the pocket again. Now, this has diverted students' attention. Sometimes we take a vehicle key from the left pocket and turn it around and take it to the right pocket, and from the right pocket again we take it, turn it around, and again put it into what you call left pocket. This will be again a routine if you make. Now this will really disturbs, and because of this, what's going to happen is the student will be losing interest in your class, because I'm not telling that you are doing it intentionally. This happens unconsciously, where somewhat unnecessary what you call unwanted movements, sometimes buttoning and unbuttoning the what you call shirt or the this one collar, sometimes lifting the collar up and pulling the collar down without your knowledge, but it happens unconsciously. But all these are the distractors. Now, the moment this distraction happens, student lose interest. Now, how to avoid this? Anybody can have this, including me. How to avoid this? Now, this is where you have to take a mirror what you call teaching. And how many of you know about the mirror teaching? Any idea? Any idea about mirror teaching?
Practicing?
Yeah, practicing in front of the mirror.
Yes.
Yeah. So, if at all you are fresh to the profession, I would expect you to do this. Why? Because at least few minutes you practice in front of the mirror, you watch your gestures and postures, because this is very important. Why? Because you are seeing your own picture or your own what you call movements, and you are trying to what you call analyze yourself whether it's making sense for your students. So one is mirror teaching, where you get to know which gesture is good and which gesture is not good. This is before going to the class, where you can have a mirror teaching practice. I'm not talking about the micro teaching, because many of the institutions, they do micro teaching. They record your talk or lecture with your complete awareness that you are being recorded. I don't want that. Rather than, suppose it's inside the class, ask one of your favorite student, record your talk or video your talk for next 5 to 10 minutes without your knowledge. Take that recording back, go home and cache it on your big screen at home. Don't show to anyone, just watch yourself. Now listen your own talk which you talk to your students. I'm not ridiculing. Many times we wonder, this is what I talk to my students which had made no sense. If it is not making sense for me, how can it make sense for students? And if you really improve upon yourself and you want to become a popular teacher, I think you have to do all these exercises, at least in the beginning part. So one is mirror teaching, the practicing teaching in front of a mirror, and see, I don't want you to go for by heart teaching, because you know some of the teachers go for by heart teaching. Now this should be avoided, because by heart teaching can happen over 5 to 10 minutes, not for 1 hour. So here teaching with understanding is more important. So avoid unnecessary gestures and postures which gives a different meaning for the students. And sometimes we make unnecessary use of verbatims. For example, dear students, yesterday we discussed about this aspect, okay, and today we might continue with this, okay, and today's content part will be like this, okay, and what we are going today is okay. Then from backside comes voice comes, it's okay sir, please continue the class. And when you're continuing the class, if you are using verbatim more and more, after some time you might get a voice 167. After some time you might get 200. You know what are these numbers? Any idea?
Number of the verbatims used, sir.
Okay.
It's not number of, not only it's not number of verbatims, and number of times you have used okay, or like, or isn't it, understood. The specific word is being repeated by you. The student is more interested in recording those than what you are going to teach. So we have to be very careful. I'm not telling that you should not use the word okay at all, or like it, or understood, isn't it, I mean all these are fine, but depending on the context. But don't use these wordings unnecessarily which are not at all making any connection to the what you call content part or the sentence. Now I'll tell you, if you use more of a time okay, you'll become a okay teacher. If you use I mean, you'll become a mean teacher. All these students.
But hello, sir. Sorry to disturb. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah. Please go ahead.
But this happens, naturally. Like when you deliver a lecture, your verbatim is what you call. So it comes automatically. Like
Sir,
whenever you are talking, you are using what you call a lot of times. So you are not doing it consciously, but it is just coming out of your mouth. So sometimes it happens that the teachers use it.
Sir, I understand.
Yeah.
I said it's a context based. I'm not telling that you should not use at all. I'm telling that is why practice is required. The moment you more practice, all these verbatims can be used in a better way rather than unnecessary usage. Hope I'm making it clear. Are you getting it?
Yes, sure.
Yeah, it is.
Sir, may I add to this point?
Yes.
So it could be that why you have included this particular point is that usage of verbatim could be like you are not getting any kind of thing to say. So in order to drag or to just make it lengthy, okay, or So in that context, maybe you have put this point that avoid unnecessary use of verbatims.
Madam,
take it in this context.
Madam, that means we are not mastered the subject. If we are having mastered the subject,
Yes.
then it's easy.
Yes.
When we have not mastered the subject, or when you have tried to fill the gap, as you said,
Yes.
this might come.
Yes. No, sir.
to
The purpose why you have included this point, I'm saying that. So one must not use because you are getting short of the content. So that in that way I'm saying.
yes. You know why I'm
Otherwise,
why I'm
as the sir had said, I mean Dr. Suresh Kumar, that comes naturally. But the other way is that even we must be conscious that we should not use, and even the student should not get that we are getting short of the content. In that context, I have said, sir.
Madam, that's your context. I am telling you, when I was student, I suffered from this. You believe it or not?
When we have, sir.
Yeah. Huh? So whatever our teachers are doing it, we should not do it.
Yes, yes.
So that's the idea. It's on a positive line. It's not on a negative line. Okay, please take it as a positive. This one. Okay, positive way of doing it.
Yeah, positive way.
Yeah. Okay, how to make what you call our students more interest in the subject? So one of the concept is mind map. How many of you know about mind map? Any idea? Anybody heard of this mind map?
Is graphical.
Yes, sir. Like assuming.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Is it like drawing the graph?
Exactly. Okay, then.
Actually, mind map is a way of describing a complex information which has multiple subunits. Using the block diagrams, it can be explained easily.
Okay, madam. That's for us to easy to explain. But what is the student advantage?
Depends on the students' mindset. We have to map it.
They will be able to see the larger picture of a topic, that what is the topic about and what are the subconstituents of it, what are the further subparts of it. So it will basically, they will form a story like image in the mind of a student. Mind map will help in that.
Okay, I'll give more
Improve
details.
understanding, enhance memory, and encourage creativity thinking, organization, information, clarity. So, mind map is a diagram used to the organization idea and information concept around the central topic to attract the student.
Okay, all
Improve
of your answers
understanding
are right. All of your
easily.
answers right. All of your answers are right. I'm going to add more. So a mind map is a set of what you call connecting what you call contents with the help of keywords and small pictures. And if you have one page mind map, you can write 4 to 5 pages of notes. So the mind map, I'm going to give one example. It is innovative way of learning, both for teachers as well as what you call students. And one of the person called as Tony Buzan, okay, he developed this. Okay, this is like, you don't write actually full notes, but use keywords and images. And we use a lot of visuals and sensory tools. Then the moment you start what you call visual and sensory tools, and there is a connection between one to the other, now recollection of information is very easy. So how it will be? So before the break, I want to explain this. Okay, I'll show the one mind map, how it will be. Okay. Now remember, so this is like one of the general component I have taken. So it is basically talked about how to save our environment. Anybody can comment on one side, because I don't want you to just sit and listen. How this picture can best explain how we can save our environment, which is the need of the hour.
So we have to reuse and recycle the plastics, whatever we use.
Less
Continue,
usage of electricity.
Okay.
Reduces of the plastics. Planting more trees.
R formula, planting saplings.
In ecological balance, effective
And
climate changes.
and what about, see, if you start with one, if you start with one aspect, remember how it can connect one to the other, including global warming, which we are suffering today. So it is like the what you call application of each, whether it could be recycling, reducing, or reusing. And these are just keywords if you have seen. And the most things are what you call explained through small pictures. And the same thing if we explain to our students through this, I think one can easily write 3 to 4 pages of notes, isn't it? You can think of yourself, like how best we can write a note. And I know in every subject, if you put little bit effort, definitely we can come with the mind map, which is proven highly successful. Now, everyone, see, for example, on the right side and you find bicycle. Now, that is being there everywhere, where more than India, the other universities you can find what you call bicycle usage very common, having multiple benefits. Now, this is where you are just seeing multiple what you call bicycle and plus sign, but the amount of explanation we can give is enormous. How it helps in what you call reduction of what you call usage of what you call fuels, and how it can increase what you call our fitness. Everything you can explain. So walking itself, as is shown in this one, as somebody said, planting. Somebody said lesser usage of electricity, use solar, reduction of what you call how to reduce plant. Now, if you have this kind of what you call mind map, difficult for all the content, but at least for few of the contents, if you start developing what you call the mind maps, definitely our class will be effective. And more than us, the student, as I said, visual memory now. The visual memory is better than audio memory. Now, this can have more impact, and it can make the student to recollect the information and remember better, so that he can write a better essay. So that's the idea here, where we are going to talk about the safe environment through one of the component called as mind map. How it starts. So first you have to plan. Okay, first the title. Okay, and draw a circle around it. Okay, and what you want to say, making a presentation. The next part is what is the topic, who are your audience, what is going to be delivered, where is the location, and what are the visual aids. All that things can come in the next. The next part is it is furthermore extended from in audience to whether it's demographic, what is their expectations, what are the concerns, knowledge and benefits, and while in the delivery, case studies, analysis or length of presentation, or in the location, support technology, refreshments or size of room, or if it comes to visual aids, handouts, videos, slides or graphics, or in the presentation topic, is it a structure or overall topic. Now, this is where you are going to make what you call a presentation better through what you call a mind map. And you can furthermore extend it, like what you call, now you draw facts or ideas, draw lines out from the appropriate heading line and label them as exactly shown in the what you call figure 4. And finally, now everything is made crystal clear in a mind map, so that the student can listen what you call in a better way. So,
Sir, can I add on one thing here?
Yes, please, madam, please.
Sir, there is one software called Notebook LM.
Okay, please
from
share,
Google.
madam, so that other teachers can note down.
Notebook LM. I'll write in the chat box.
Yeah.
And I last semester I used this software to teach my students. What I used to do is I used to take a big, let's say 10 pages PDF file. I'll feed that PDF file to Notebook LM and tell it to make mind maps. It will make mind maps for us, for students, and very easy mind maps. For example, any textbook, let's say I'm talking about environment only, or maybe sustainability, then I will find the right material, I'll give it to Notebook LM, and it will create mind maps on its own. So I will write the name here in the chat box. So this is free of cost, and this is from Google itself.
Okay, teachers there who are listening, please make note of this, because it's Notebook LM software. And madam, your name, because I'm on a full mode in what you call
my name is Meenakshi.
Okay, so as for Meenakshi madam,
Yes, sir.
what you call,
I also use the same. To add on what Meenakshi ma'am has said,
Okay.
there is a particular option called infographic. So entire information, the way you have made it for the save environment thing, you can even for movies, the text we are going to teach, or any scientific experimentation, it can be used in very effective manner.
madam, your name?
Sir, Sumangala.
Madam, please share this what you call for our teachers, because I want our teachers to make our classroom really better by using what you call notebook LM or infographics. I'm going to add more at the end. Huh?
If possible, like if I'll be given 2 minutes, not now, maybe later, I will show that there are certain mind maps that I created using that.
Okay, madam, in the end session, because we'll have a break now, because it's already 3:21.
Sure.
We'll break it to 3:15.
Yes.
We'll give a break now. We'll have a break
Break
now.
ತಗೊಂಬಿಡಿ ಸರ್ ಇವಾಗ ಲ್ಯಾನ್ಸಿ ಸರ್ ಬ್ರೇಕ್ ತಗೊಂಬಿಡಿ ಇವಾಗ.
Yeah. And 3:45, sir, we'll get back again.
Yes, sir. Oh, sir.
Because we started.
I request all the participants to join the link at 3:40 so that you can start the session exactly at 3:45.
Yeah.
Yes,
Madam, that mind map sharing will be done at the end of during our discussion session for last 5 to 10 minutes. So we'll leave to you. Meenakshi madam.
Sir, yes.
At the end of then we'll have 5 to 10 minutes of discussion. That time,
Yes.
with the permission of what you call Nanjanam Sam sir, I'll.
No, please go ahead, sir. No problem.
Yeah. So we'll share more mind maps.
All right.
Okay.